What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to show you how to do the awesome carousel style post in Canva using Canva and a free website that I found called pinetools.com. So let's get ready to dive in. Let's go! Alright guys, first and foremost, pinetools.com. You see it on my computer. We're going to get back to that later. So we're going to start this day by going into everyone's favorite free app, Canva. So first thing and foremost, we're going to create a design and we're going to go to custom size. The reason why we're doing this is because you got to think in terms of when you're doing the carousel and you're doing the swipe through, each square is 1080 by 1080. So when we create a elongated post, like a long rectangle, you need to account for every 1080 pixels that you have. So for this demo purpose, I'm just going to do a double swipe. So it's just one slide and another slide, so two slides. So we're at 2160 because you got to go 1080 plus another 1080. So if you're doing a 5, then it's another 1080, another 1080, another 1080, and so on. And the height is going to be 1080. So when we hit create new design, we now have that square. So you see, or the rectangle that you see in my working space. So first and foremost, I'm going to go to File. I'm going to show rulers. This is something I always do, and I'm going to click and drag so you get that line. I'm going to snap it right at 1080. So the reason why I do this, so when you see a awesome carousel style post, something is always going to be sitting in that middle spot. So when you actually swipe through, it like entices you to swipe onto that next slide. So if you do post A and then post B, not many people are going to swipe through unless there's something that's going to be leading them into that swipe through. So that's a trick of the trade right there. So first and foremost, I'm going to just grab a generic background. We're going to grab that nice free picture of the beach, of the desert, Grand Canyon, whatever it is. And then I'm going to go to back to photos, and I'm going to do astronaut. So as you can see, when I have the astronaut, a bunch of different things pop up with like space backgrounds, but I just want the cutout. So one of the cool things about Canva, if you didn't know, you could go right here to the toggle screen, click that, scroll all the way down and click cutouts only and apply filters. And now you have a basically just cutouts of astronauts. So I'm going to use this first guy over here, or sorry, I'm going to use this guy. Alright, so I'm putting him right smack dab in between, so when you actually see it, you're actually looking at just this first square in Instagram, and then you're swiping through to the next one. And then I'm just going to throw in some BS text real quick. So, check this out. I'm actually going to so see how it's actually over there on that flag. So I'm just going to go to, I'm going to highlight that, or sorry, highlight the astronaut, go to position, and just say forward that so he's in front of the check this out. I'm just going to change the color to white to make it pop. Another thing you could do too is add effects. So if you go to effects in Canva, you have all these different like shadowing, lift, echo, splice. One of my favorites is lift, and I jack that all the way up to 100 so it pops out nice in there. So another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add an element. Let's go to arrow. And I'm just going to, you don't have to add the arrow, but the arrow is also a good indicator where that line starts and then ends at the last slide. So a lot of guys will see this in their posts, so this way you can kind of gauge through and it'll basically tell you to swipe through. So again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make that white. Oh, whoops, Control Z, got to select the background. The last thing I was going to say is we'll do this and say I'll put that down there and I'll leave that black. So now we have our base files. Let's say this is our edited finished file. So now we're going to go to download. So, and this is where that other website, Pine Tools, comes in. So we're going to download the actual image. I always keep it as PNG, so I'm going to download it right then and there. So as that downloads, I'm actually going to open up pinetools.com. So this is a free website that you can use. It's got tons of different things. And I'm going to use the split tool. So if you search split in the toolbar, it'll have a few different options over here. So the one that I'm using is split image. So that's going to split the image into smaller files. So what it basically does is it's going to take that elongated one and cut it in equal pieces for you, which is why when I threw that line for that 1080 on there, it was at the 1080 mark, so I knew exactly where that cutoff was. So again, if I had 5 or 6 slides, I would still continue. I would do all the math and just drag it out to 260, drag it out even further. So now I'm going to go to choose file, add the check this out, so you can see how that looks really cool. Going to split this horizontally, so you get 2 blocks. If you do vertical, you're doing the height. Actually, I think we do want vertical. I always get confused. So now I want 2 blocks. So when we do split image, you'll see that it splits the image right there, and you could download each piece individually. So if I go to my downloads, you can see I actually did the wrong one. So you do want horizontally. So we hit split image again, it'll duplicate those again. And I'll download those, and you can see right in my downloads folder, there is image 1, and there is image 2. So when you swipe through, on Instagram, you will now see one solid image on the swipe through. So hope this actually helped you guys out. This is something that I've actually YouTubed a few times myself to figure out. This style is really cool as opposed to not having that on the cut. The biggest tip I could give you on Instagram right now to try to keep that engagement going, to keep people on your profile, keep them wanting more, try using some of these carousel style posts. Try adding stuff on the break that will entice them to swipe through. That should hopefully boost your engagement. And yes, these do take a lot longer than this to make. Obviously, this wasn't even a plan. I just kind of threw this together for this tutorial. But as you can see on my Million Shark profile, I have a few on affiliate marketing where I actually went and thought out of an actual 3 or 4 different topics to cover on each individual slide, and you can kind of maneuver them in that way as well. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and let's keep it going. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. As always, thank you for your time, and I'll see you at the next Shark Tank.